Reactions coming to you again with another video today. Today is January 5th, 2025. We're going to go over a recap of yesterday. Turned out to be an insanely good day, a great get back for us. Obviously, Cantley and M both went under their lines for PGA. That was a big. Cantley was one of our 2-unit picks. Jamar Chase clutched up at the very end on the final drive for them on receiving yards, but fantasy cleared earlier on. That was both of those great. Burrow over 25.5 completions. He had 22 in the first half for Pete's sake. The over 283 yards, we got snubbed here. He ended up with like 272. Denver Jones for Auburn ended up with 10 points, so that was a rough one. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but Golden from Michigan had 7 points early on, and then he got into foul trouble in the first half and barely played the game. I think he had the least minutes out of any starter. And then Danny Wolf cleared 12.5 by a mile. I think he had 17 or 18. As I said, he is their entire offense. As for NBA, Jonathan Kuminga had 13 points in the first quarter and a half, and then injured his ankle pretty badly, apparently. Out for the rest of the game. That was a reboot. Mathurin ended up with 1 3-pointer on 4 attempts. Cutting a little close, a little sweaty, but that's okay. Embiid under 5 3-point attempts. I think he ended up with 3. Never a doubt. And then D'Lo only had 3 or 4 shot attempts when he went out with an injury, but that was basically at half. So even if he had played the whole game, I still liked the under. So other than that, we were up 8 units on the day for yesterday. Now let's go to today. For NBA, I haven't really gone through the board a whole lot, but I like Derek White over 3.5 assists. I will say this is a risky one because OKC doesn't allow a lot of assists to guards. I have to see if Jaylen Brown playing or not will be a big determining factor. I think Jason Tatum will have a good matchup with Jalen Williams if that's who he ends up guarding. I think Dort will guard Jaylen Brown if Jalen is playing. So we'll see. But I always like Tatum over RA or over rebounds. Either one's good. CJ McCollum, I like him under 9.5 RA. Against Washington literally 2 days ago, he dropped 50. It seems like he's getting more into his score-heavy approach versus his facilitate. Deontay Murray's handling that. Then we go NFL. So I'm going to go through a lot of this quick. Obviously, actually here, I'll jump to the final one. Madison Scott for women's college basketball over 10.5 points. I'm not big on women's college basketball, but my buddy pretty much hits at like a 60-70% clip, and this is his play of the day. So I'm just going to add this on here because I trust his opinion. Now let's get to NFL. Geno Smith needs 192 yards to get a $2.5 million bonus, so I'm going to take that goblin on Prizepicks at 199. Cortland Sutton needs 82 receiving yards to also get an incentive. So I'm going to take the over 81.5, plus they got something to play for. Mike Evans needs 5 catches and 83 yards to, I don't know if it's incentive-based or if it's the record, one of the two. But I have both of his things on here as goblins. Yeah, I like it. Zach Charbonnet, I like the over 3.5 reception demon. His over 2.5 catches is a -170 on most books. So I'm going to add that extra 1 reception because I'd rather take the demon and take my chances. You can take the goblin if you feel more safe. Then we have Joe Flacco for the Colts starting today. So I think Jonathan Taylor will go over his yards hopefully. Just depends how much run he gets. I don't know if they're going to pull him early and put Trey Sermon in for the second half. So that'll be something we adjust for. I love Michael Pittman has to be my play of the day, over 4.5 catches. Last week we saw Joe Flacco fall in love with him, and that was against a Giants secondary who's actually been pretty good this year against wide receivers, and now he goes against Jacksonville, who's one of the worst secondaries in the league. I think Pittman over 4.5 catches and 51.5 yards is pretty much a lock, but I really like the reception prop. Then you got Bijan. Atlanta has to win today, and Tampa Bay has to lose for Atlanta Falcons to make it in. And I think Atlanta's going to do everything they can to trust who they know for now instead of putting all the eggs in the basket of Michael Penix. So I like Bijan over 85.5 rushing yards. Cortland Sutton, if you don't like the 81.5 receiving yards, because obviously based on receptions versus yards, that means he's going to have to average 15 yards per catch. Not sure if you like that or not. So I also have Cortland Sutton's 5.5 receiving receptions. Sorry. Wandale, I like. Drew Lock's been throwing the ball a lot. So I don't have it on here, but I know I like Neighbors over 6.5 catches. I think he got bumped to 7 though. So I like Wandale over 8.5. Fantasy, I'm thinking like 5 catches, 30 yards. 5 catches, 36 yards. That's what we need. Jordan Addison, I think this will be the game of the day. Obviously, Vikings-Lions determines who's the number 1 seed. But Addison's just been on a heater lately, so I really like this. And then finally, we're going to stick with this Seahawks narrative that they have to pass a lot. And Jackson Smith and Jigba, I like the over 5.5 receptions. If you can't get 5.5 on your book, I would suggest, I think it's 61.5 yards. So, other than that, guys, thank you. Hopefully these picks hit. We're plus 8 units from yesterday. So on the week, that puts us at plus 7 over our last 3 slates since we started doing this on the channel. Let's keep it up. As you can see on here, Prizepicks, the NFL, I have everything at a half unit suggested because NFL isn't my primary betting, but I do like it a lot. If I'm going to take anything off this list, I would take Derek White off just because I don't even know if that line is up on Prizepicks or Underdog anymore. So, anyway, guys, thank you for stopping in. Make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.